guys, welcome back to Analogtastic, and today I'm going to be doing the video tour of the Yashica Electro AX, which is one of my favorite cameras. I actually have one in my personal collection, which is one of my primary shooters, and I love it. So I'm just going to give you a tour of some of the cool features of this camera. First of all, when I shot my test roll, I shot it with this gorgeous Yashica 50mm 1.4 lens, which is one of my favorite lenses on the planet. It has such amazing, like, crisp, sharp focus, but you throw it wide open and it has just this wonderful, soft, fluffy background that's out of focus. Oh man, I love it. Anyway, I'm drooling. So, the front of the camera, of course, you have your lens. This takes M42 mount lenses, which you can get lots of amazing M42 lenses. They are a screw-on lens, as opposed to a bayonet type lens. So they're a little slower to take on and off, but you can get lots of very high quality ones. This one is very yellow, and you can tell by the particular shade of yellow that it is that means this lens is also slightly radioactive, which they did because it it made a sharper lens to have some radioactive element in the glass. So also on the front of the lens, on the front of the camera, is your lever for the self-timer right here. This is a very interesting feature of this camera. Normally when you look through the viewfinder of the camera, you will see it stopped down, but to focus, sometimes it will actually look too dark in your viewfinder. So to focus, that's what this button is for, and it will open the aperture all the way for you to focus, and then you let it off to take your shot on whatever you have selected your aperture to be. So on the top of the camera, of course, your rewind knob. This is your shutter speed. There is also auto mode, which I did not test when I was doing my test roll on this camera, but I have tested mechanically, so I know that it does work. When you have it in the auto mode, there are two lamps in the viewfinder, and these lamps will light up. They're just a little arrow that you'll see, and one will be pointing up, which means it's overexposed, and one pointing down, which means it's underexposed, and you probably need to choose your own shutter speed, or you need to choose your own different aperture for that shot. This camera also has this lever right here. This is your lock lever, so that when it's switched, you cannot accidentally engage your shutter, which is something I always like because I'm always chucking cameras in my bag and have way too many cameras in my bag, and things often get bumped. So I really like having that feature of being able to lock my shutter button. This is, of course, your shutter button. You have your hot shoe. This is your film advance wind lever. On the back of the camera, of course, is your film door, and this camera has a feature which is not very common, but I really like it. This button right here is actually a lock, so you can't pull this slide here and open it unless you depress the lock as well. So even if this gets snagged on something, which I have had happen, it will not pop your back open and accidentally expose your roll. So, yikes. Here is your film compartment. It winds this way. This has a really cool mechanical shutter. It's so cool. I'm such a geek. I love the little levers. Instead of having just a cloth curtain, it has this little levery one, which is geeky and I think is cool. So to close this, you do also have to push the button, and this one's a little finicky to get closed. Of course, this is your viewfinder window. This is a mirror lock, so you can lock it up if so desired. On the bottom of the camera, this is your battery compartment. Just a word about this particular camera. Why did you not close, crazy thing? This does take a strange, now defunct battery type, but you can get janky ones from like China. I would not recommend that personally. What I always recommend with cameras like this, and this is the same for this model or the Yashica Electro 35, is you get yourself one of these Yashica battery adapters, which allows you to shoot a standard 544 battery in your camera, which is a huge advantage because you can pick these up a lot more places, and it just slides in the little tube like that. In my shop, I actually have the option where you can buy this right with this camera, so you are all ready to go out and shoot, because these are just awesome. So, and then it goes, the red part goes up, and my battery is falling out and causing me trouble. But so that's your battery compartment. This button right here is your release button for when you're ready to rewind your film. There is, of course, a tripod socket right in the center. And then this here is where you mark your ISO of your film. And last time I was shooting ISO 400 for my test roll. So that is your tour of the Yashica Electro AX. I highly recommend this camera, and it is for sale right now in my shop, so you can click the link on my bio and get this for yourself, complete with battery adapter. So thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.